I, fortunately, am a citizen in this country. My families are spread across different provinces. So it is my duty and the fellow police officers to protect them. So I'm not going to surrender their freedom. I'm not going to surrender their safety to anyone. So I will die for this badge. I will die for them. So I will fight this fight until the end. Wherever the end is, we will fight. Yeah, well, the safety of South Africans is in jeopardy. At least Mkhwanazi still has a firearm. He still has a men and women that he works with. He can still somehow protect himself. There are men and women out there that are vulnerable, they've got no one to protect. So we can't be worried about our own safety, we must worry about the safety of the citizens. So ours is to go out there and lay our life to protect them. That is my only concern right now, not about my safety. You know, everyone shall die. The time will come. If it comes, it comes. But if an enemy comes to you, attack the enemy. Don't allow the enemy to take advantage. You can't just lie with your arms in your hands like that. You have to fight. So that's what we are doing now in KZN, and we shall fight. And this fight is very big. So it needs people who are committed. People who are not worried. No, they're going to chase you. They're going to arrest you. Get out of that prison and fight. They're going to suspend, they're going to dismiss you, they can get you out of the police. When you're out of the police, join men and women in the private sector that are dedicated in dealing with this criminality and fight from outside. That's why we're calling on them to also join us to fight. That is not going to stop. So I'm not worried about my safety in as far as these investigations are concerned. I said I must ask one question at a time. What is the other one that was?
So guys, yesterday our favorite General Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi had a press briefing, and on that press briefing the lieutenant said a lot. He said a lot, and he exposed what is happening inside that institution that is called the South African Police Service. And General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is accusing the politicians, some of the politicians that are in parliament, of working with these criminal syndicates. And he's coming out and he's telling the people of this country that, guys, I know me saying all of these things is going to make you be worried about my safety, but I am not worried about my safety. I am worried about the safety of the people of this country, because looking at this institution that is supposed to protect the people of this country, I can see that the lives of the people of this country are in jeopardy. This is what he says. The lives of South Africans are in jeopardy. The safety of South Africans is in jeopardy. And we have an institution that is supposed to ensure that the people are safe in this country. And there's a massive corruption that is happening in here. And it has been a total scandal. It has been a total scandal. And I know, guys, yesterday, the press briefing was like over an hour. And I know that there are people who actually didn't have time to go through the whole briefing, but shout out to the daily updates, because they managed to do the summary of what the general has said in 11 minutes, man. So shout out to the guys in the daily updates for actually understanding that not everybody in the country has actually 1 hour to listen to everything. Some people, they just need to be like, they just need this, the summaries of what happened so that they can get the gist. So this is what we are going to watch. Guys, we are going to watch General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi speaking about these things that are happening in the South African Police Service and naming some of the people that he is basically accusing of committing corruption in that South African Police Service. And after that, we're going to see the reactions, because the reactions to what the general has said has been insane.
On the 26th of March 2025, this year, a total of 121 case dockets that were under investigation were taken away from the task team as directed by a Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, a Lieutenant General Sibia, who was acting on the instruction of the Minister of Police to disband the team. This was done without the authority of the National Commissioner, nor I, as a Provincial Commissioner, was never informed. These case dockets have since March been sitting at the head office ever since, without any investigation work done on them. 5 of these dockets had already instruction to arrest perpetrators. But nothing has been done because a Lieutenant General Sbia, being instructed by the minister, or well, executing instruction of the minister, withdrew all these dockets and they are sitting in archive in his office in Pretoria. God knows why. In the year 2024, a request was received from Gauteng Organized Crime Investigating Unit to assist with the investigation to dismantle the organized crime syndicate that was operating in Gauteng, that was controlled in Gauteng but operating in the rest of the country and in neighboring countries. I, as the Provincial Commissioner, took a decision to deploy 10 members from this political killings task team to go and support this organized crime unit in Gauteng. I can tell South Africans that this decision was a cause for the disbandment letter of this team because they overstepped their mandate of only focusing in KZN. They went to support Gauteng organized crime unit with a dismantling of a criminal syndicate. And I can confirm before the South Africans today that the investigation which these members were involved with in Gauteng has unmasked the syndicate. And this syndicate involves, amongst others, politicians who are currently serving in Parliament. The law enforcement officers include the members of the South African Police Service, the Metro Police, and correctional services. They include prosecutors in Gauteng province, the judiciary, and all these are controlled by the drug cartel as well as business people in that province of Gauteng. This act, of course, undermines the criminal justice system in this country. On the 2nd of January 2025,
But guys, we have to say, man, it is so scary what the general is saying. Like to actually think about these things happening in this country and in real time. And you know, the thing about the general is that he's so credible that the people that are trying to criticize what he says are not taken seriously. I feel like South Africans see General Ntanda Mkhwanazi as someone who is brave enough to put his life out there for the people and to go after dangerous criminals. And when he says something, of course, the people are going to listen. And I feel like this is something that his detractors are struggling to deal with. The fact that this guy, the public trusts him so much. And whenever they try to discredit him, whenever they try to criticize him, the public always picks his side. And I feel like his detractors are now getting frustrated with this image that the general has actually built for himself. But it is so scary to listen to these things actually be mentioned by these people. Just imagine the whole, like that is the whole government structure, I mean, from the police to the Metro Police, the generals, correctional services, and these people, all of these people are being controlled by the drug dealers, by the drug lords. It is insane. Like, it is so scary, man. Like, it is so scary. Yesterday when I was watching this thing, man, I was literally scared. Like, this country is a crime scene. You know, there are people that says that South Africa is a crime scene. This country is a crime scene. Jeez.
Undermines the criminal justice system in this country. On the 2nd of January 2025, at about 10:05 in the morning, Vusimuzi Ket Matlala receives a copy of the letter of the disbandment of the political killings task team from Mr. Brown Mohotsi, who is an associate with the Minister of Police. I pause to remind you that this is the very same Brown Mohotsi that the Minister of Police had denied in Parliament and later confirmed to be his comrade but not involved with police matters. But he's sending this communication. That's what we have discovered through the investigation. On the 14th of January 2025, Mr. Brown communicates with Mr. Vusimus Ket Matlala as follows, I quote, "Sure, don't forget to work on your invoices." On the 15th January, Mr. Vusimus Ket Matlala responds with a screenshot of an invoice that he has submitted to the South African Police Service, which I guess was due for payment on his contract. On the 26th of January 2025, Mr. Brown Mogotsi sent a message to the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, which reads as follows, I quote, "The guy of the funding in bracket 20 is also in Joburg from Tuesday. He is the one I said has a 3 billion contract with SAPS." Close quote. Open quote, again another message. "I am also meeting with the DNC and the COS today." Now, in the abbreviation, the DNC in the South African Police Service is referred to as the Deputy National Commissioner, and the COS would be, in this regard, the Chief of Staff. He says, "I'm also meeting with the DNC and Chief of Staff today in Durban for finalization of Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi's matter." Close quote. Another message reads, "DNC is waiting for the Chief of Staff here. This is very significant." Close quote. This is extracted from the communication of the arrested person. So we ask ourselves a question: is there a theory of conspiracy targeting senior officers involving the Minister of Police in this country? On the 31st of December, we have seen Mr. Brown Mogotsi sending the following message to the Minister of Police, which reads, "Minister, I'm going to get the case number and the judgment for you. Now we got something proven by the court. This is a matter now which either Sibia or the minister can charge Khumalo and apply Rule 9 of the disciplinary regulations of the South African Police Service. It took the Constitutional Court to release a man who was sentenced to life imprisonment through a forced Section 204 confession. Imagine, Comrade Senzo, after 30 years of democracy, having this kind of policing. The good thing now is that these are not allegations, but a court judgment." This is extracted from a conversation that Mr. Brown Mogotsi is sending to the Minister of Police. On the 13th of May this year, the contract of Vusimus Ket Matlala was cancelled by the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service. On the 14th of May this year, Vusimus Ket Matlala sent a message to Brown Mogotsi, which reads, I quote, "Morning. Just to let you know that my contract was cancelled yesterday, and I see you've been ignoring me and promising me things that never happened. Luckily, of every conversation, just in case something like this might happen, I'm taking all this to media and some to court on Friday when I do the interdict." Close quote. On the 30th of May 2025, the Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, which is referred to as IDEC, requests the exhibits from the cell phone of Vusimus Ket Matlala from the political killings task team, and they download the content of the cell phone. IDEC is a unit that was established to deal with corruptions in the country. We don't know what is it that we're investigating for them to come and ask for these cell phone downloads. On the 25th of May, on the 30th of May, I beg your pardon. On the 25th of June this year, the project coordinator of the political killings task team is arrested by IDEC. A dramatic arrest. A dramatic arrest. On the 26th of June 2025, the accused, Katiso KT Molefe, who was arrested by the very same task team, was granted bail. Guess that one went under the radar. The work of the organized crime in Gauteng, supported by the political killings task team, has indeed been compromised. The disbandment of the political killings task team was influenced by the sterling work that they performed in Gauteng to uncover the criminal syndicate, which involved some members of the criminal justice system operating in Gauteng province, and not because of what I presented earlier, which was the work they did in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Their demise was as a result of them assisting Gauteng to uncover the criminal syndicate. Despite all these challenges, we acknowledge and appreciate the resilience of the members of the political killings task team. The political killings task team remains operational, albeit attempt to disrupt its work to protect and serve the inhabitants of the Republic, as enshrined in the Constitution under Section 205, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Republic. The political killings task team remains operational. Therefore, we have embarked on a process of registering a criminal investigation in order to deal with this infiltration and control of the criminal justice system by the organized crime. We in KZN know that a member of crime intelligence or members of crime intelligence released classified documents and handed them over to a member of parliament. That includes vetting documents, as well as covert properties. We all know in the country that the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence is the one that must supervise the operations of a secret fund account, not only for the South African Police Service, but all the intelligence agencies in the country. That the members of crime intelligence gave these documents to the member of parliament, and the member of parliament registered a criminal case in Gauteng where he was alleging that some of the officials within crime intelligence were issued fraudulent vetting clearance certificates.
So that's what General Ntantla has basically said. And I feel like the general has also accused the police minister of being a criminal at this point. Say that you are also a criminal. And this is a lie that South Africans do not even know about. Like, it's almost as if we are just the visitors in this country. And these are the people, these are the real players. This is what they do. While the people are worried about wrong things. And, like, can you imagine, man, as someone who is being exposed by General Ntantla Mkhwanazi, when you hear this person says that I'm not worried about my safety, it means that you cannot even threaten him. You cannot even threaten him. He's not worried about his safety. He's not worried about the wrong toes that he steps on. He's only worried about the safety of the people of this country. Man, it's going to be hard. Like this is going to be explosive. I think this is going to be very explosive. And I cannot wait to see how the president is going to deal with this one, because I remember yesterday on social media, people were saying that, President Ramaphosa, you were so tough on Andrew Whitfield to fire him for taking an overseas trip. What are you going to do about your Minister of Police being accused of these things? What are you going to do as the president about these generals, about these revelations? What are you going to do as the president? Are you going to be so tough, or are you going to try to tiptoe around this issue? And I think Ramaphosa knows that, damn, man, I have a problem. Now I have a problem. I have a problem because everybody is waiting to see how the president is going to react to these revelations. Everybody is waiting to see if there's an action that the president is going to take, if there's an action that government is going to take. And with General saying that these people are working with the criminals, if the government does not take any actions, it would mean that the general is telling the truth. It would mean that the general is telling the truth. But again, if they take action, they are taking their own friends to jail. And it won't end nicely. I don't think any of these people actually have an appetite of going to jail. I don't think so. And can you imagine the sabotage they would feel if their own friends would take them to jail. I mean, like, let's see how President Ramaphosa is going to react. But the presidency already reacted to these statements made by General Ntantla Mkhwanazi. And the statement on social media says that President Cyril Ramaphosa has noted statements made earlier in the media briefing by South African Police Service KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner Lieutenant General Ntantla Mkhwanazi. President Ramaphosa said, quote, "This is a matter of grave national security concern that is receiving the highest priority attention. It is vital that the integrity of the country's security services is safeguarded and that the rule of law is affirmed." But again, when you listen to General Ntantla Mkhwanazi, it's almost as if he's tired of the complex internal battles that are happening. It's like, it sounds like someone who wants things to be done, but there are people there that are making sure that things are not being done, and he's quite frustrated with the internal process. It sounds like that. It sounds like that. Quote, "All parties to the matter are called upon to exercise discipline and restraint." So Ramaphosa is saying that, guys, you have said enough. It's enough. You guys have said enough. And we are calling for you to exercise discipline and restraint. The trading of accusations and counter-accusations threatened to undermine public confidence and sow confusion. Furthermore, these actions damage the unity and focus of the police. President Ramaphosa will outline the actions to be taken on this matter on his return to the BRICS Leader Summit currently underway in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So President Ramaphosa says that, no, guys, I'm coming. I will have to deal with this thing. But in the meantime, I don't want any of you to say anything any further. You've said enough. You've said enough. That's what the president is saying. So even the ANC, through their Secretary General, has already reacted. They have already reacted. Yesterday, till today, it's still reactions to what the General has actually said. So let's hear what the ANC is saying about these revelations made by the General.
The KZN Police Commissioner Ntantla Mkhwanazi has indicated that there are big issues within police, that people are being protected, high-ranking officials are being protected, politicians are being protected. As the ANC, what do you have to say in response to this?
We have issued a brief statement. These are grave accusations by a police commissioner, which borders on lawlessness, and the state of our law enforcement agencies is worrisome, and we have full confidence that the president will deal with these matters with all the powers vested in him. The police force can't communicate things of this nature. We put a blind eye to that. But over and above that, some of these issues must actually be investigated, but also all protocols of the state must be observed. Okay. And that's what we would like to see as the African National Congress.
Why do you say it's lawlessness?
It borders on lawlessness and a banana republic, that a high-ranking police commissioner can basically go to television and make a disparaging and grave accusations and allegations in the way we have learned about them. And it borders on lawlessness and banana republic, because at the end of the day, we've got to do something about those things. And also the protocol.
But then again, I feel like the General went out to the public because you guys didn't do anything about these things. I felt like it. And Fikile Mbalula must just come out and say that, no, the General should not have gone out with this information. Because that's what he's basically saying. And this is where my question is going to come, that you as South Africans, do you prefer to hear about these things, or do you think that there are matters that should be dealt inside the government without the knowledge of the people? What do you think is the best? For people to come out with information, or for the government to discuss some of these issues without the public knowledge? What are your thoughts? Because right now, Fikile Mbalula does not want to say it. But I feel like he should have just been straightforward with it, that I don't think that the general should have come out with this information. I don't think so. Because I think this is where the problem is. I think when it comes to the internal dynamics there in the government or in the South African Police Service, I'm sure that many of them, they know of these things or some of these things that have been alleged by the general. I'm sure they are quite aware of it. But what's actually bothering them is that these issues are now out in public and the people are discussing it and the people are shocked to learn that this is happening in this country in real time. And these are the people that are doing these things. I think the politicians are actually pissed off with the fact that this information came out. Not that it exists. When they know that it exists. They know.
And, also the protocol and the discipline of the police command and control is very important. I was a minister of police. I worked very well with the police and I know protocols of the police, but I'm not about to talk about.
And how did Fikile Mbalula do as the Minister of Police? How did Fikile Mbalula do?
My own personal experience. Let's deal with the principle. The principle is that the head of state and our president will deal with this matter. That is what, as the ANC, would like to see.
Okay, what is the ANC going to do about the allegations made against Senzo Mqunu? He is an ANC member.
He's a minister.
But he's an ANC member.
He's a minister deployed by the ANC. He is governed by the executive code, and he reports to the president. It is fair that we call on, not even calling, defer to the president to deal with the matter. I am confident, we are confident as the ANC that the president will deal with the issue. It's not the ANC that is in the dock. When a member of the ANC is given a responsibility in the highest office and honor, like the police, and is facing this sort of accusations, the immediate authority is the president.
And guys, I wonder who, when Fikile Mbalula says that they are confident that the president is going to deal with this matter, I wonder what matter is confident that the president is going to deal with. The matter of things coming out or the matter of these allegations that have been made by General Ntantla Mkhwanazi. Because he says that, yeah, I am confident that the president will deal with this matter. But the question should have been straightforward. Which matter? The matter of General Ntantla Mkhwanazi coming out with the information, or the matter of the context and of what General Ntantla Mkhwanazi said? Because if, okay, let's say these things that the general is saying are true, I mean, like, these things cannot be true without the knowledge of the president. I don't think that these things can actually happen in the country and the president is not aware of these things happening. That's why I'm asking, when he says that they are confident, what is it exactly that the president is going to deal with? Is he going to deal with General Ntantla Mkhwanazi, or is going to deal with the issues? So, the Minister of Police, Senzo Mqunu, also briefly responded, but I don't think this is an official response from the minister. And he said that, yeah, I've heard about the statements and I actually did not have time to watch the television, so I am not quite clued up about what the general has said. And I'm saying this is a lie. I think this is a lie. I don't think that the minister didn't hear or didn't watch the presser when general was speaking. But he says that, no, I've heard about those things, but I didn't even get the time to watch the television. But we will deal with those issues.
Well, we have become aware of what General Mkhwanazi said we have been saying. I didn't have time to look at TV, but there are those statements that he has made. We will, in good time, apply our minds to those kind of statements.
So this is the Minister of Police who has actually been accused of being a criminal. This is the Minister of Police. And, you know, guys, yesterday, Mr. Shadrach Sibiya, who has been accused by General Ntantla Mkhwanazi of burying the evidence in his office, also did an interview on SAPS. And the guy was going around. He also did an interview on Newsroom Africa. So basically defending his honor. And to say that, no, this guy doesn't know what the hell that he's talking about. He doesn't know what the hell that he's talking about. And Griselda Lewis, the way that she asked this question, man, like she was point blank. Listen to how Griselda Lewis actually asked General Sibiya. Listen to this. Listen to this.
He sounds like a very aggrieved man. Before I let you go, are you a criminal? He's referred to you. He said in that meeting that the police minister had organized at his premises, you didn't say anything in that meeting, and he basically said there can basically be no peace between a police officer and a criminal. That seems to have been suggested that you are a criminal?
No, Cressida, I'm 37 years in this field. I've been doing this job, and many people, all the provinces know me. I've done my job throughout the country. I've served the people of South Africa, and there are big cases that I can point you out, including the AKA that he's talking about. I'm the one who was pushing it. He's talking about the AKA. I'm the one. He didn't want to arrest. I'm the one who arrested, who pushed for the arrest of AKA. So, and I can show you and I can prove to you about my involvement in the AKA matter. So I can tell you now, and I'm telling South Africa.
He sounds like
this is a mess, guys. This is an entire mess. This is an entire mess. And I guess it's going to be very interesting to see how everything is going to unfold this week. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. But guys, let's be honest, man. But when you look at the South African Police Service and the way that the South African Police Service responds and the way that they conduct their business, you can see that something is wrong there, man. Everybody can see that something is wrong with the South African Police Service. And the people are actually frustrated with this institution. They're quite frustrated. Because when you look at the people on the ground and the crimes that they experience and the fact that these people that are committing all of these crimes are back to communities in no time. Somebody can actually come into your house and point a gun at you and take your belongings. And you would think that person would go to jail. In a couple of months, that person would be roaming around the streets. The killers are getting into jail, they are getting out. Rapists are getting into jail and are coming out. And people are. They don't have any hope in South African Police Service anymore. They don't have any hope in the criminal justice system of this country anymore. That's why you would see people actually taking the matters into their own hands. You know, the mob justice. I think this is the reason why we have seen so many videos of the mob doing things by themselves and saying that, okay, this person has raped a little girl, then we are going to kill this person. As a community, this is what we are going to do as our duty, to ensure that we don't deal with this nonsense anymore. Because it doesn't matter, we take this person to jail or we call the police, this person will be arrested. And in no time, the same person will be roaming around the streets looking for the next victim. And now the people are saying, okay, we are taking the matters into our own hands. And the South African Police Service always says that South Africans must not take the matters into their own hands. Always trust the police. You must never take the matters into your own hands, because when you are doing that, you are committing a crime. But then what should South Africans do? What should South Africans do when an institution that is supposed to protect them is not protecting them? What are they supposed to do? This is very frustrating. Especially the people dealing with the level of criminality that is taking place in this country. It's rather frustrating. That's why you can see the people who can actually afford, they are there protecting themselves with the private firms. And because they know that we cannot trust the South African Police Service, I cannot put my life into the hands of the South African Police Service. That's why people who have money, they have private security firms guarding their places, guarding their homes, because they know that with the press of a button, these people are here fighting for me. But if there is someone on my door and I decide to pick up my phone and call 10111, do you think the police van will be here in 5 minutes? Of course not. Probably they're going to come tomorrow morning. It's very frustrating, man. It is very frustrating. Very. Because it's like there's no justice in this country. Like there's absolutely no justice. You see people on social media every day saying that there's no justice in South Africa. There's no justice. Horrible things are happening, but we don't see people actually getting the punishment that they deserve. We don't see that happening. We don't. So the general says that, okay, these are the things, these are the reasons why this institution is the way that it is. So guys, I also saw the reaction from the Youth League of the African National Congress. So the brilliant and smart ANC Youth League President Colin Malachi has also responded to the allegations that have been made by General Ntantla Mkhwanazi, and this is what he said.
Days of statements and populism have ended. If he has got evidence on them, he must arrest them. We're not a country of lawlessness. We don't want statements. We don't want press briefings. We want people to be arrested. If you are doing crime, you're putting drugs in our country, you're working with criminals, arrest them. We don't want commissioners that are becoming politicians. We want commissioners that act. His role as a commissioner of police is to arrest those who do crime. Now, we don't want him to be a pop star. If he wants to contest politics, he must come to branches of the ANC and contest. But if he wants to be a commissioner, he must arrest those who do crime. We don't want statements, we want arrests.
But guys, just listen to how the Youth League president is addressing this matter. Just listen to that. Just listen to that. Like the general comes with some, because I think the general knows that, okay, there are some decisions that I cannot take as the provincial commissioner of South African Police Service in KwaZulu-Natal. He knows that there are some decisions that he cannot take. But sometimes when you listen to this guy of the ANC Youth League and responding, it's almost as if the general has an unlimited power to do as he pleases. Because I think if the general actually had power to do what he actually wants to do, I think those people would be behind bars. I think they would be behind bars. And to suggest that this person is not arresting these people because he wants to be popular. Complete madness. Complete madness. It's pretending like this guy has an unlimited power and he cannot do anything. That's why we are always coming down like a ton of bricks to Ramaphosa, because we understand that he can take the decisions. We understand that Ramaphosa can make the decisions. But some of the people that actually work under him, there are those decisions that they cannot make. That's why it is going to be interesting to see how the president is going to respond. It's going to be very interesting. So guys, I don't know, man. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about what the general has said? What are your thoughts? And do you think that the South African Police Service as an institution can actually be resurrected? Do you think it can come back to the glory days? I don't want to say that, man. It's like I'm saying, make America great again. You know, every time when Donald Trump says, make America great again, man, the black people in the United States will say, the Jim Crow law. So now, when I'm saying that, can the South African Police Service be brought back to its glory days? I know some people will say that, you wanted those times where black people were being arrested. But this institution, it actually needs to be, it needs to be saved. It needs to be saved. Because many people in this country, majority of the people in this country, they cannot afford to have the private firms. They cannot. They are relying on the South African Police Service. And South African Police Service as an institution, if it fails, then people die. Then people die. What are your thoughts, guys? Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.